incredible. So hopefully Tom Allen can keep that momentum going into next year. Maybe watch the films. I'm sure they already have 100 times, break down what happened there in those 2 touchdowns. Touchdown, the onside kick recovered by Tennessee, touchdown again. 30 seconds all it took for Tennessee to take the lead in that one. That's nuts.
It was crazy. It was totally insane. Well, at least Tom Allen does not have to worry about his ass being hot on the hot seat as they gave him
not.
a very well deserved. So now we got coming up here. We got the Clemson Tigers and the Clemson. Okay, LSU Tigers.
Yeah, you're
and
good. Yeah,
are they both
Clemson Tigers? LSU Tigers. They're both Tigers.
So two Tigers.
Here's an FF fun fact. They both play in Death Valley because Clemson calls Memorial Stadium where they played Death Valley, and LSU Stadium is Death Valley.
Well,
so who's the correct
either
Death
which
Valley?
way? Well, I think LSU is this year, and Clemson had a great win over Ohio State. We talked about this on the show a week or so ago. But, man, Ohio State, well, we won't say they choked, but they lost to Clemson. Now you got Clemson, again, facing Joe Burrow, which by all accounts is next to Tua right up there, one of the best college quarterbacks of 2019. We'll find out on Monday if Tua goes to the NFL. My guess is money's going to talk, and he's just playing a little teaser. But we could be wrong. He could be one of those guys that go back to college and help out Alabama. And I have to admit, I really enjoyed not seeing Alabama in the college playoffs. But let's break down what's about to happen here between LSU and Clemson. And, well, Joe Burrow, man, he's just the real deal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, he's going to be next year's Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. So you got that to look forward to.
And he's an Ohio guy, too, isn't he? Isn't he from Ohio?
Ain't that crazy? That's crazy. He's from around there, yeah. He's from Southeast Ohio. So, yeah, it's going to work out great for him. They've already named his high school football stadium after him.
It stopped being tanking for Tua and tanking. Then it became tanking for Burrow. We'll see what happens. That's a disaster. I mean, it's unfortunate that he has to start his NFL career at Cincinnati, but hey, he might turn the world around like Peyton Manning did for the Indianapolis Colts. Chuba Hubbard, Oklahoma State, man, there's another real deal of 2019. What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, where'd that guy come from? It's the coolest name in college football that you never heard of until these last few weeks. He got my attention halfway through the season because, number one, his name is awesome, but he's an awesome running back, too. Everybody's talking about Jonathan Taylor and Travis Etienne and those guys, but then Chuba Hubbard comes out of nowhere, and, you know, you talk about DeAndre Swift from Georgia, all those guys. Nobody's talked about Chuba Hubbard, and then these last few games, he might be the best back in the country, and he plays for Oklahoma State, so you never get to see him play, really. And so you never really heard of him. But if he was on one of these primetime elite teams, he's probably sitting there in New York for the Heisman.
Well, he averaged over 161 yards per game, which was a big reason why the Cowboys had a top 35 scoring offense.
That's nuts. That's Heisman numbers, and he wasn't even at the ceremony.
So we look at the Rose Bowl. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the Rose Bowl, but certainly one of the standouts in 2019 for Wisconsin was Jonathan Taylor. He just is a beast, and he averaged for a tailback. He averaged 1,900 yards and 21 touchdowns, while also adding a receiving element to this game to the tune of 209 yards and 5 scores. So you got to look at Jonathan Taylor with the Badgers being the real deal.
Yeah, and, you know, all those guys we're talking about for running back, I don't know which one's the first one going to be taken because they're all going to be the correct choice. So it's tough for me to say, you know, who gets drafted where or who gets drafted first as far as running backs go. You take any one of those 4 or 5, and it's probably the right choice.
Let's talk a little bit about another LSU standout, and that is Jamar Chase. Chase is the favorite target of Joe Burrow, and they're the Reggie Wayne and Peyton Manning, if you will. And congratulations to Reggie Wayne to be in a nomination to the finalists of the Hall of Fame. I think he really will get in. I honestly think he'll, if it comes down to him or Edgerrin James, it'll be him over Edgerrin James. Although I'm a big fan of Edgerrin James, but I digress there a little bit there. But what are your thoughts?
Well, it's Burrow and Chase. You watch these guys play, and Chase's speed is on a different level, just like Joe Burrow's downfield passing accuracy. It's on a different level. These guys hook up beyond 20, 30 yards. The lights are out. I mean, they take it to the house because they're just playing on a different level, those two, than any other quarterback and receiver combo in the country, I feel like. It's really like the whole offense and defense for LSU. I mean, it's a professional-looking scheme. The way it's ran, how fast these guys are playing, they are on a whole different level.
Let's look at another Cowboy there with Oklahoma, and that's C.C. Lamb. Lamb, highlight reel playmaker for the Sooners, is the main weapon for the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, another one of those quarterback-wide receiver combos.
Yeah, it's just Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback because he also has the ability to run. He's like another running back. If you put C.D. Lamb on LSU, who's number one receiver then? Is it going to be Chase or C.D. Lamb? Lamb is more of a shorter wide receiver. I wouldn't say undersized. He's kind of like a Will Fuller type from Will Fuller from Notre Dame. Now he plays for the Houston Texans. He's more of that type. He spent some of the season this year injured, so his numbers his final stats for the year aren't what they could have been by any means. But, yeah, I don't know how the draft's going to break down, but Chase going into the draft, C.D. Lamb, these guys are first-round picks.
Taking a look back at 2019 college football with Rick Riggin, our official college football contributor. He's talking about some of the standouts of 2019. We look at the tight end from Florida Atlantic, and that's Harrison Bryant. The group of five standout played a key role in Lane Kiffin's offense, catching 7 touchdowns across 1,000 yards, averaging 77.2 per game. He also excelled as a blocker for the Owls. And Lane Kiffin, I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah, I would just use caution, though, with these tight ends, these players from the non-Power 5, because they're going against that competition. You know, they're not going against the Bamas or I would say just Bama as an example. I'd say SEC or Big Ten talent or nothing like that. I would just use a little bit of caution. As a Lions fan, I will say we took a tight end number 1 last year, T.J. Hawkinson from Iowa, even though he did play against that Big Ten talent. I'm kind of on the fence if he was really we should have taken him number 1. You know, the other great players, obviously we needed some defensive help. Yeah, but we take T.J. Hawkinson. I think he's a good tight end. I'm talking about Hawkinson, not the FAU player. But I just use caution taking tight ends number 1.
Let's talk a little bit. We got a few more minutes here before we have to wrap it up and put a bow on it. But let's talk a little bit about one of the biggest maybe coaching changes we believe, and according to Adam Scheffner, there's the breakdown between Jason Garrett and the Cowboys has officially happened, but they've not released an official statement. So, you know, we talked about a lot of reports are saying he's not going to be coming back, and I think that's the clear and present danger there, or whatever. But you got to look at who could step into that place. And obviously Urban Meyer is a favorite target to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer very well might stay at home and go with Cincinnati, but you got to wonder if staying at home is the best thing at all. Let's talk about some of these the coaching carousel, if you will. And Lincoln Riley to the Dallas Cowboys seems to be a popular point of conversation. There's also the coach of Baylor, but the coach. Let's talk about the departure of Jason Garrett and who comes in to fulfill that role. And being a coach of the Cowboys, whether you're a Cowboys fan or not, the Cowboys coach has always been a coach that we look at. That's why they call it America's team. Everybody looks at the Dallas Cowboys, and we can look at some of the greatest coaches of all time being associated with the Dallas Cowboys. Not necessarily Jason Garrett, but you got to look at that the Cowboys have a history of hiring good coaches, and you got to look at Urban Meyer or Lincoln Riley. It's got to be those two that Jones looks at. I'm sorry.
Well, he might look at Lincoln Riley. There's no way Lincoln Riley is leaving Oklahoma. I don't understand why college coaches like that these days. When you're at an elite program like Oklahoma, and I'm talking about these good to great college football programs, those jobs are better than every job in the NFL, and they really are. Because when you're the head coach in college, you have complete control of the program. When you go to the NFL, you no longer have control. It's GMs and owners. It's a players' league. You have all that to deal with. But when you're at a place like Oklahoma and you're the guy, and it's your program, and everything the program does is because of you. I don't know why you would want to leave that, give that up, and give up that control. And even the money would be about the same. He wouldn't go to the Dallas Cowboys and make more money. It's just not the way NFL coaches are paid when he's making, $7 to $10 million a year really at Oklahoma. So I don't know why Lincoln Riley would even consider leaving Oklahoma right now. I mean, they're a playoff team, and it's because of him. It's his fingerprints. It's his program. It's what he's building. I don't see that. I know that's the hot topic conversation to put Lincoln Riley and link into all these NFL jobs. I'm saying it's not ever going to happen. I understand coaches want to, if they're successful in college, that competitiveness in these coaches, they want to be successful at the highest level too. But I feel like these great college football programs are just better jobs than all the jobs in the NFL. Now, as far as Urban Meyer goes, I don't know what he does. He's not in college now. Does he want to try the NFL level? Maybe. But I think as far as the Dallas Cowboys go, they look at Greg Roman or Josh McDaniels, and that is the top two guys they're going to target. And there's no hurry right now to go out and get them because they're both offensive coordinators and they're both in the playoffs right now. So I don't think they can go out and get them right now. So
you mentioned Josh McDaniels, and I'm going to throw a curveball your way, which is way out in left field. But hey, for those that have the tinfoil hats on, we look at Tom Brady and Bill Belichick separating. Tom Brady possibly going into retirement. Again, way off in left field, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hats here. But let's throw the conspiracy spoke in the wheel here. Bill Belichick to the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think so. I mean, that'd just be nuts. If that was the case, then you can just the next NFL dynasty would probably be the Dallas Cowboys once he gets his quarterback. So I don't know if Dak Prescott is that guy. I don't know if he is that franchise quarterback. That long. I don't know how I'm trying to word it. But anyway, the Dak Prescott's longevity of playing at a high level is maybe a better way to put it, is the guy there in Dallas. So it's going to be an offensive-minded guy. It's got to be. So Belichick's probably that guy. I don't think that's even – you said tinfoil hats, so that is a crazy theory.
Hat. We'll see.
I think not. I think you look what Greg Roman did at San Francisco under Jim Harbaugh and got Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl, and now what he's doing with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. Dak Prescott could be one of those guys. Dak Prescott is about that athletic. He can also run. If you ever watch at Mississippi State, he's a great runner. If they bring an offense like that into Dallas with that talent they have, that offensive line, that quarterback with athleticism, of course they got Zeke Elliott and Amari Cooper, and a guy like Greg Roman right now, and the way he's running that offense, Dallas could be an unstoppable offense. I think Greg Roman might be my top target if I was Jerry Jones.
We've been talking with Rick Riggin, our official college football contributor. We're going to be talking the Homer card and more NFL stuff with Ed Kracz, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles and SI.com, and Tony Donahue from the Tony D.